I had a couple of beers and we got back to the house and I just thought, I'm doing it tonight. I can't carry on with this.
I just thought I failed. Let alone have I failed being a human, the person who I'm meant to be, but I've also failed in trying to not be here anymore.
You feel as if you're never ever going to get better. You have this conviction that that's it.
You wake up and you don't feel normal. You wake up and you don't feel sober, and you think you'll smoke a spliff and you feel sober. Because if you live your life stoned, it's just what's normal.
I was surprised to find myself that low. I'm surprised I found myself wanting to end my life.
Coming from where I come from, mental health isn't talked about, and if you do, it's, oh, man up, sort yourself out, you'll be all right, you know, and that's very derogatory to someone who's fighting their demons and, in essence, being a warrior against them, do you know, and that's the way I look at it. When I got to sort of my late teens and I started to do drugs, I started to be a really horrible person, and I wasn't in the right mind state most of the time. Like I'd binge drink as well, and I'd be in like states where I wouldn't remember because I didn't want to. To me, when I was going through that stage, someone with mental health problems was someone in a straitjacket in a padded cell. That was my idea of it. I had no inkling of what mental health was.
Pure manic depressive symptoms. It's been a trend that whenever I've gone down, and it's been a really, really bad downward cycle, I then come up, and I've come up too quick, and it's gone up again. You know, it affected everything. It affected work, it affected relationships a lot. Not so much friends, because I was fun to be with, you know, especially when you're in an upward cycle. It probably meant that my health suffered because I drank more, took more drugs, smoked more, didn't sleep enough, didn't eat properly, all those things.
My story probably is not typical. I had a physical illness, a water infection, it was straightforward, which was treated, but then it was just suddenly I was like rolling down a hill, finding out I was not sleeping well, waking very early in the morning, and I was breaking down and crying for no apparent reason. I had my own house, happily married, no money worries as such, doing everything I wanted to do, and suddenly it all went wrong. Doctors since have told me that you know, it was probably the physical illness that triggered something which set something off.
Back then, I was probably at least 10 pints a day, at least. But I was a working alcoholic, I'd say. You know, I held down a job, etc. Some people would comment, "You stink of alcohol," from the night before, but otherwise I'd still be working, finish work, go straight to the pub, and then leave there when it closed. I did go to the doctors, started on a course of antidepressants. They didn't really help that much. Drinking alcohol is a medication. It numbs thoughts, and then it escalates problems, and it really did escalate. That's why I was where I was.
My dad died from suicide. You know, it's hard to go somewhere and sort of talk about how you feel, especially, you know, after a loved one's taken her own life and that as well. You don't want these emotions to surface. I used to smoke a lot of weed. With some friends, or you'd be on your own, you smoke a joint, watch a movie or something. You just really get into it. You know, there's literally a black canvas all around you, and that's the world out there. You know, almost just switched off.
I used to think of certain ways, and you think, oh, hanging yourself, oh, I don't fancy that. And then drowning, and I think, oh, I don't fancy drowning at all. Maybe I'll just take all my clothes off and I'll walk off into the field somewhere, I'll get exposure and something like that. No, that seems daft. I know it sounds laughable, but I did go through thinking about it, but I didn't form a plan. So I think with suicide, people think about it, and then if this level is higher and more serious, they will form a plan of what they're actually going to do.
At some point, you've got to deal with the real emotion that you're sort of pushing behind, because it is there, whether people notice it or not. It is there, and it's really painful. Like, as time goes on, still, it's hard to face. Some days you'll be all right and whatnot, but other days feelings really surface. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm actually doing. I'm so used to faking. You see a mate and like, "You're right, mate, how you doing?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm good. How are you?" Very, very easy to put on the front.
I think the suicidal thoughts started to happen when I was probably about 19, in the peak stages of doing drugs and going out partying, and like I lost my job through mental health. The girl I was going out with at the time, we split up, and I was rowing with my mum. I just felt like I'm never going to be loved. I'm never going to, no one's going to care about me. I really didn't feel a way about doing it. Like, it was literally just, okay, all right, well, this is it now. I've had enough. The world's had enough of me. I've had enough of the world. That's it. I'm done.
So I was at a very low point in my life. I lost my house. I lost my business. Depression set in. Losing everything didn't really affect me because I was dulling it out with the alcohol. And then suddenly I found myself 3.5, 4 years ago, I found myself homeless. I'd just been kicked out by my then girlfriend, and I was on the streets, and that was the final straw. I didn't call out to any services that were out there or anything. I just felt alone. So I was sitting in a pub, drinking the day away again, and then suddenly I just went, that's it.
And I woke up the next morning, and the only difference that I really felt was that I was really, really groggy. My mother said, "Have you seen your eyes?" And I said, "No." And I looked in the mirror, and my eyes looked really peculiar, and it was all the medication that was swimming around in it. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't go to the doctors or anything, because I knew that if I admitted to doing what I did, then I'd probably be put inside again. And I just thought, quite frankly, if my liver collapses, so what? That's why I tried to kill myself, because I wanted to die. Whichever way it is, as long as you die, guess what? That's what you want to achieve. I'm very open about what has happened to me now. I don't care what I tell people. I try not to scare them or make them run away, but I really don't. I have no boundaries in terms of telling complete strangers. And it's amazing how many people actually come back with a bigger and better story. I think that's what's good about opening up, is that you can create all these dialogues, and people thinking, well, actually, he told me that, and he told me that, and so actually maybe it's not such a bad thing to be talking about.
I was watching something on telly and I laughed, and I thought, that's good, you've laughed. You haven't laughed for 4 months. And all the family sort of sat up, God, he's laughed. Well, medication I find useful because it works for me, and it's finding the medication that works for you if there is an appropriate one. I take lithium, an antidepressant. Lithium works for me. I went to see a psychiatrist because I thought, this is ridiculous, I've got to go and see someone because I haven't got the answer. And I said to him, this lithium, do I have to take it forever, or can I stop, or what? And he said, no, you don't. If you stop, there's an 80% chance of psychosis. I said, don't fancy it.
Because I was so close to not being here, it really scared me. And then I was scared of dying, which I'd never been before. I suppose what helped me to value life is, having a little one, really. I've just had a little boy. I think he's kept me. But before him, just my family really. My nan and granddad, like they're the type of people that will help anyone that needs it. And there needs to be more people like that in the world, so why not make myself into one of them people, you know? I believe now I have a purpose. I'm here for a reason, you know, and I'm scared of not fulfilling that purpose.
I'm in a good place. A lot better. A hell of a lot better. The accident, or, the suicide attempt, I lost both my legs below the knee. I was in a wheelchair for quite a long time. I've been walking now for 5 months. I'm studying again. I'm studying to be an accountant. I'm going to the gym probably 6 days a week now. I think after the accident, seeing my parents, they'd come down every month, and seeing their faces. And I thought it's got to change for them, because I shouldn't go before they do. You've got to put the work in yourself. You've really got to wake up every day, take every day as it is, really, every day as it comes. I write my lists every morning of what I've got to do for the day. Got to do my studying, got to go to the gym. I'm that way inclined, really. I like to have structure in my life, and I didn't have it before.
I'm doing so much better than what I was before. Before I couldn't even see myself in sort of, 5-10 years from now. When I'm in my routine, I wake up between 5 in the morning and 7. And I like that. I like sort of waking up thinking, I've got the whole day. And the next year, I've got quite high hopes for myself. I got the help. That was one. I stopped smoking. That was 2. And this next one, I will just start going out into the world. I do try and sometimes put myself in uncomfortable situations, agreeing to things that I really wouldn't want to do. This being one of them.
Talk to people. Talk to people that are around you. They may not see where you are, but they are there for you. Since I attempted and have gone past that and survived, I've noticed all of the people were there that I needed at the time, but I just didn't see them at the time. You're not on your own. Don't ever think that you're on your own, because you're not.
When you're struggling that bad with just life in general, it's like getting a really bad flu. You feel so ill in that, and you just want it to go, and it feels like it's going to take forever. Seek help, really. If someone really needs help, they will get it. It's nice to just actually be able to unload to someone, just understands the situation. Explain to someone how bad you actually feel.
Talk to your partner, spouse, family, talk to your close friends, go and see your doctor, I think is a reasonable thing to do, because he or she will or should understand and may have suggestions of where you should get further help, or groups that you may attend, which you would find helpful.
It's a matter of time, that is all. Time is the main factor in most things. You might be going through depression for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. But at the end of that month, you will feel a little bit more positive. Maybe not top of the world, but you will feel positive. And that's what people do have to realise, because when you're in that stage, you feel like you're at the lowest of the low. You're never coming back. But you are coming back.
I don't think it's an easy thing to do, by any means. But I think people who do achieve it have potentially missed out on possibly the best moments of their lives still to come. I got married after I'd tried to commit suicide. We had 2 dogs. We had a lovely house in the country with a sea view, lovely neighbours, had a good job. I would have had none of that if that had worked that night.